So over the last, I would say 3 weeks probably, I've spoken to at least 9 business owners, and one of the common problems I keep noticing is this whole idea of differentiation, right? Being able to differentiate your brand from competitors within your space, especially those that offer and sell the same things that you do, right? So I decided to do a quick video just to answer some questions that were asked in some of those discovery sessions, but also for anyone else out there who may be struggling with the same thing in terms of if you're a founder or a business owner and you struggle with how to differentiate your brand from competitors. So for me, I've been doing running ICAD marketing for, I'd say, 3.5 years now as of recording this. And I would say for the first 3 years, it was very difficult for me to really figure out how to differentiate my brand, really figure out how to really stand out from what everybody else was offering out there, right? Because I offer content marketing services, and there's nothing really unique or special. There are 1,000, probably 10,000, probably 100,000 other people out there that offer content marketing services. So in those first 3 years, I really struggled to kind of find my sort of sweet spot that would help me to differentiate my brand. And over the last 6 months, I've really been working on it, really have found where that sweet spot is. And being the type of person that I am, once I find something that works for me, I reverse engineer to kind of codify it so that I can put it into a repeatable process that I can use to get the same results for myself and also the same results for my clients. So I'm just going to go through this very, very briefly, not very long. So it's basically 4 steps really, right? And that first step is you want to do a competitive analysis. So you want to look on what are the strengths of those competitors around you that offer the same or similar service that you do. And you also want to pay attention to their weaknesses, right? Because you want to be able to use their weakness to your advantage. The second thing is that SWOT analysis. So you want to do the same thing for your brand as well, where you're looking at what are your strengths that you can really leverage and tap into, but also what are the weaknesses, and you want to stay away from your weaknesses in terms of how you differentiate your brand. The third thing are client interviews, and I would say you really want to do about at least 7, but no more than 10, because once you get over 10, then the responses pretty much start to repeat themselves, right? And whether you do them with existing clients of the past, or potential clients, those that you believe would be your target buyers, doesn't matter which one, but you definitely want to do those interviews. And in those interviews, what you're looking for are 3 things. Number 1, what exactly are they trying to do, right? In marketing, we call it jobs to be done or use cases. So what is it exactly that they're trying to do? Number 2, why is it that they're doing it? Meaning, what's the desired outcome that they're actually after, why they're doing this particular activity? And then number 3, what are the problems that they're experiencing where they're trying to do this thing, they want this desired outcome, but they're not able to get it because of specific problems or these specific problems that they have, right? And from those 7 to 10 interviews, you want to call it those 3 main information, and then you really want to look at what are the commonalities and kind of rank them from highest to lowest, and you want to pick out what are the top 3 highest in terms of the top 3 use cases or what they're trying to do, the top 3 problems that they experience, and the top 3 desired outcomes that they're after. And then once you do that, then we get to the position and messaging, which I'm going to get to shortly. But once you have that information in terms of that competitive analysis, that SWOT analysis, and those insights from the client interviews, then you want to use all 3 to kind of put together what your offer and your solution is in terms of how can you take advantage of the competitors' weakness, how can you take advantage of your strength, and then kind of paying attention to those problems and those use cases that you can tap into. And I would say the best problems are the ones where there's an unmet need, because usually that means that it's an untapped opportunity and potential for you to really stand out and differentiate yourself. So moving into step 4 now in terms of the positioning and messaging. So based on what I just mentioned, where you want to list those top 3 use cases, those top 3 desired outcomes that they're after, and the top 3 problems that they experience that isn't allowing them to get that desired outcome that they're after. So you want to look on what is use case 1, and what's the desired outcome that they're after, outcome 1, and what's problem 1 associated with both of these, right? Then you want to do the same thing for use case 2, use case 3, and so on and so forth. So really what you're looking for, as I'd mentioned before, is you want to take a look at your solution that you put together. How can it facilitate the use case that they actually want to do, or the thing that they want to do? And how can you help them get the desired outcome through your solution that they're after, and while at the same time eliminating the problems that they're facing, right? And that's how you really can differentiate your brand. Now, I mean, there are many other ways you can do it. You can differentiate your brand through being very creative. You can differentiate your brand by having a strong point of view. You can differentiate your brand by even niching and focusing on one particular customer segment or industry. But this is just one of the ways that I found that it works really well for me in terms of how I was able to differentiate my brand from what everyone else is doing out there. So I know it was a very brief video, but hopefully it shed some light and highlighted something that you could take away and use for your own brand to help build your authority and position yourself as a go-to expert for whatever it is that you offer.